Hey, what's going on, guys? All on channel. Got another quick video for you guys today. Number one, I want to apologize for all the sound that you're going to hear in the background. It's just that time of day where I live. I just got off of work. Everybody else got off of work. They're all heading home. So when you hear the noise in the background, that's what it is. I can't help it. I live on a hill, man, and it just seems like the noisiest cars live the farthest up the hill. So these guys have been passing by left and right. So it might happen, it might not. I don't know, but I'm just letting you guys know ahead of time. I'll try and speak a little bit more loudly than I normally do, so that you guys can hear what I'm trying to say. But basically, just do this really quick video for you today. Just like everybody else, was busy at work, got all this stuff going on. But when I was at work and checking my Twitter account, I was on a break, just cutting through, trying to get to the other side of the building, man. Just trying to get something to, heading towards the store that we have there. Decided to check my Twitter, man. I was kind of blown away because the first thing I see is that MDHR, who are the creators of, is it MDHR or MDR? I think it's MDHR, who are the creators of Cuphead. Amazing game. If you guys haven't played it, man, definitely play it. In fact, it's worthy of a buy. Just, you know, one of the hits on Cuphead is that it's hard. It can be a difficult game, especially if you're not used to that type of game, old school game. But it's challenging and it's fun at the same time. So if you guys definitely pick that game up, that game is awesome. Now, with that being said, the news broke that MDHR is actually bringing their game Cuphead to the PlayStation. Now, a couple of days ago, right, I did a video, and in that video, I put on blast some of the guys in the Xbox community, some of these newcomers that are deciding to rep the brand a little bit stronger than I have been. As you guys can tell by my channel, I've been putting up videos regularly, okay? In fact, I'm going to put another podcast on blast, which is called the Exile Podcast, which is run by eRockX, who's also, I'm not sure if he's going to be a regular member of the We Got Next podcast I talk about. He was on the last podcast, which was pretty awesome, the We Got Next. But he has his own podcast called the Exile Podcast, which has an additional person on there who's NWO Prime. Some of you guys in the Xbox community know who this guy is, and he hasn't been doing anything either, but he's starting to come back, which is cool. And then some of the guys from the We Got Next podcast are on the Exile Podcast, which is good because these guys are starting to, you know, expand their YouTube channels, their footprint on social media, all for the purpose of representing and repping this Xbox, or just representing this Xbox brand. Something that I used to do ad nauseum on this channel, especially in 2013. Now I haven't been doing that. Like I said in my previous video, I gave a bunch of reasons. I kind of recap it real quickly, but one of the reasons I don't do it is because, or at least what I said in the video is I'm just happy to be a cog in the machine. So when things pop up like this video I'm doing now, I'm going to speak on it. But for the most part, I'm not as involved. And like I said, to recap some of the reasons I'm not involved or as hardcore into doing these videos like I used to be. Number one, it's not 2013 anymore. And in 2013, if you guys was around like I was, and you were just a gamer, right, and you decided to buy the Xbox One because that was going to be your system of choice, because maybe you saw Sunset Overdrive, maybe you saw Titanfall, maybe you saw Killer Instinct, right? You saw their launch lineup and you were impressed. You like the Kinect from the 360 like I did, and they were going to put a Kinect in the bundle, which I liked. They were going to start playing with the digital slash hard copy type of, they're going to start pushing in different directions. You guys know I'm a Sega fan. Sega's known for doing that. There were some things that you liked that Microsoft was going to do with the Xbox that made you buy into that system, okay? Now, if you bought into that system, you guys, like myself, like I did, you found out real quick that this gaming community is nothing but a bunch of fanboy, toxic pricks. So I don't know how else to put it nicely. But that's what you found out real quick, right? You found out how toxic the community can be in that first year. So what ends up happening is a lot of us guys who considered ourselves gamers kind of pushed into a corner because we were fighting against biased media. We were fighting against people that just hate Microsoft and all of these fake, phony gamers who came along during the PlayStation. When PlayStation first came along, PlayStation is the one that brought in all these normies. Okay, so you were fighting with that. So 2013, we all kind of bonded together, formed our own community, and for a while, I mean, fought the good fight. Now, over time, what ends up happening is that some people on the Xbox community, you know, you found out really quickly that they're not Xbox all in, they're not Xbox strong, like this channel. I still rep Xbox even from 2013. I might not be as involved. I might not be doing videos all the time, but this channel will always be an Xbox channel. I mean, until it goes off air, until I'm done doing this stuff. There's never going to be a time where I'm going to tell you I'm not Xbox, right? That's just the way it's going to be for this channel, okay? So with that being said, the other things that started to change, right? Xbox changed their division, right? They made a lot of changes internally. By those internal changes, it changed things externally, right? To the point where Xbox in 2013 and Xbox in 2020 is totally different. And I'm talking about the business model, the games, their services, hell, the UI, they change it, what, like every 6 months? You know, they're constantly changing. They're constantly giving people, you know, they listen. Microsoft and Xbox especially, as far as the Xbox One, that product, they actually listen to the gamers, or people they think are gamers, right? And they try to give everybody what they wanted. For a person like me who liked the Xbox from the beginning, that's been kind of hard, because there's things that I like, Snap feature. There's things that I like, Groove Music. There's things that Microsoft that they did, Mixer, right? There's all these things that they did that I like that have kind of gone away. And the reason why it's gone away is because they're in a constant state of flux, right? And that's one of the reasons why that's why I stopped repping them as hard, man. Because for them, right, for somebody who's hardcore with them, and I'm not complaining about this, man, they did what they had to do. They took the business approach. They started making, you know, they took a whole different approach. And there's no sense to me ripping the brand if they're gonna, you know, they're just gonna cater to people who are on a general audience scale. Okay, that's just, there's no sense in doing that. The other thing that happened too during this time, Phil Spencer took over, which was the best thing that ever happened, because he's the person that's taking him in all these different directions, man. And he has pedigree, dude. He's been in this industry for forever, and he's an actual gamer, which helps, right? But there was a time, there was this one incident, all you Xbox guys know, where Phil Spencer, no matter what ponies did, no matter what Sony did, no matter what the haters in the media, all these people that hate on Xbox said, Phil Spencer would always take the high ground. Right, so there's this guy you guys know, right? His name is Crap Gamer. I used to follow him religiously, right? But there was a time where he came out with a statement, and then Phil Spencer like attacked him, not in a bad way, but Phil Spencer basically gave him the backhand on Twitter, which kind of blew my mind, because all the stuff that I mean, there's people that call Phil Spencer, call Xbox, call Microsoft, all these guys, every name in the book, dude, and they get nasty, right? These dudes get nasty, and for as much as you feel about Crap Gamer now, I mean, at least back in the day, dude, this dude was taking major heat, right? And then he did that and Phil backhanded him. And that kind of surprised me, because I'm like, dude, I can understand, like, maybe you didn't like what he said, right? And then maybe because he's an Xbox guy, you don't want Xbox brand to be represented like that. I can understand that. But still, dude, all these other people, right, that talk crap to Xbox fans, people who buy your product, consumers who buy your product, and people that support your brand, dude. Because I understand you're in the business model, you're up here and the high up and stuff like that, but the rest of us is down here, down low, right, in the gutters. Not meaning to be in the gutters, man. That's just the way it is, dude. It was brutal, you know. It was brutal back then. And at least, I mean, to Crap Gamer's credit, and even Zaire, dude, even to these guys' credit, man, at least they rep the brand, right? But then when I saw that, and that was another thing, dude, I'm like, okay, dude, if you can't, I can see the direction you're going. Okay, I'm down with that. But if you can't defend your own community and your own brand, then why should I? That's the kind of person I am. I'm like, dude, we taking the arrows for you dudes, man. I mean, the decisions you guys make, the stuff that you guys do, which again is unfair, and there's a bias, dude. There's been a bias for years. I understand that, but I mean, we're the ones, man. We're like the grunts on the ground. And when I saw that, dude, that's basically, I changed my mind and I walked away. And I said, there's no sense in doing that, dude. I mean, I'm not gonna, it's like if you stand up for somebody, for a bully, man, and that person doesn't do anything to stand up for himself, or the person, you know, kind of gets mad at you for standing up for him, right? So what are you gonna do? So that was like something I saw, and I'm like, okay, I can see with the direction they're going. And then kudos to at least to Phil Spencer for this, because he was going in a different direction, and Microsoft did go in a different direction. And that direction was, they took the high ground, right? And they basically took everything, all the criticism and stuff like that, and they just threw everything. Whatever any normies or general public or whatever Jeff Keighley, right, would say, Microsoft would work on that, and they would try and do it. To the point where, I will say this, that it worked out really well, to the point where Microsoft did everything. There's nowhere else to go for anybody to complain. At this point, when you're complaining about what Microsoft does, you know, anybody with any level of common sense or with a brain knows that this is just basically fanboy BS, fanboy bias. It's that obvious now, because Microsoft has done every single thing that everybody complained about, to the point where if you're still complaining, we know that you're complaining because you just hate the brand. I mean, you basically been painted into a corner, and there's no way that you can get out. And that's kudos to Microsoft, man. That's how they did it. So, you know, it is what it is, right? And then so for that being said, that's also, though, the problem with Microsoft, because they took that road, right? I mean, for me, when I look at them and what they've been doing lately, you know, they tried to build a brand and they tried to build a community. But in order to build a brand and build a community, you have to kind of step up and take some of the hits and some of the losses and stand up for your stuff, man. I don't know how else to put it. I mean, you guys, the problem I have with Microsoft, this is my one beef with Microsoft, especially when it comes to Xbox, right? You guys have these great products and stuff like that, or you guys do these products, or you do these services, but you guys, you know, you guys start off great, and to me, it's like innovative, you know, but then somewhere along the line, dude, you guys just cut bait and run. And I'm sorry, dude. I mean, nobody likes that kind of stuff. And to me, the kind of bad thing, what shows me, like me personally, as far as your ecosystem and the direction you guys are going, man, the mixer thing, and the stores, right? Maybe that's a business issue and stuff like that. But look, I ain't one to praise Sony for a lot of stuff. I mean, I praised them for some of the stuff back in the day because you know, Sony was Sony back then. But I will say this much about Sony. I will say this much about Sony, dude. No matter what happens, they will stick with that narrative. Either, I mean, they can be crooked, they could be lying, right? They could be wrong, right? But at least they're consistent, dude. And like I said, that's why I don't get down with Sony, because I think they are wrong a lot of the times, and they do things that I don't agree with. And so I make my own personal choice not to buy their product or support them, right? That's my personal opinion. But one thing I do give them kudos for, man, is whatever narrative they had, they stick by that narrative, and they never get off track, ever. Hell or high water, man. No matter what people are throwing them, even their own fans when they attack them, right? They don't care. They just keep on going in the direction they want to go, right? And I'm not saying I want Microsoft to do that, but you know, if you are going to build a brand and you want people to buy into that brand, you got to stick with that. You got to stick with it, dude. And that's another reason why I'm just like at a point where, you know, I'll do videos like this, and every once in a while, you know, I'll be like that cog in the machine, man. I downloaded the new game that just came out. Just gonna check it out, see how it is. And I can't believe I forgot it. The one where it's like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. I'm drawing a blank on the name. It's already downloaded on my system. I'll check it out, see how it plays. You know, I'll be that guy, right? I'll do my little Bing points, right? So I can get my Xbox Game Pass. You know, I'll buy my things that I like from Microsoft. You know, but at some point, I liked having the store because I would go down there and actually buy more stuff just because I liked some of the stuff on there, or that they had it available to me to see. But this is why I don't rep the brand as hard as I used to. And no hate towards Microsoft, man. They went in a different direction, and I've adjusted for myself. This is another, again, to answer some of you guys' questions about what happened, why, or how you guys are constantly thinking that I'm no longer Xbox. It's not I'm no longer Xbox. I just don't rep it as hard as I used to, and there's various reasons why. And not all, and you know, not bad in my opinion. You know, Microsoft made their choice like anything else, man. You make your own choices, right? But you know, having Studio MDHR send their stuff to Cuphead, or send Cuphead to the PlayStation brand, dude. I mean, for me, dude, you have to have a little bit of pride, just a little bit of pride, man. And I'm not anti-gamer, dude. If they're gonna, I don't even know PlayStation guys will buy it, man. They don't hardly buy the games they have. Dude, you guys have like 100 million consoles, and if you make that equivalency of 100 million to the amount that you guys buy in gaming, I don't know if MDH or if Cuphead is going to sell on that system. I mean, given the amount of sales that it made already, you know, support from the Xbox side, and then what happened on Switch and PC, I'm pretty sure that, you know, they're looking at the money aspect. You know, respect. I can't hate the game. You know, that's just the way it is. But again, man, I mean, what do you want us to do, you know? But it's cool. It's cool it's like this, man, because, you know, like I said, it was brutal back in those days. For those of you guys that are coming on now, especially trying to lecture the rest of us coming in, I see you guys making your videos or in the comment sections or on Xbox, you know, Xbox positive sites and stuff like that, sitting there trying to preach to the rest of us about, oh, we just, you know, this kumbaya crap, we all just need to get along and stuff like that. None of you guys was here in 2013. None of you don't know how brutal it was. You guys probably didn't care. You know, if I have some monochrome of respect for you, you guys would have jumped in because of the stuff they were doing. If you're a gamer, it was wrong. You know, the way they're just hating on games and systems. Dude, it cost, you know, we lost studios because of this crap, man. People lost their jobs because of all this hate. You know, if you're gamers, right? If you want to play games, dude, there's like all these games that you could be playing. You know, this narrative and stuff like that none of you guys talked about back then. Now, all of a sudden, because it's not as bad, because Microsoft did flip the script. They did paint these guys in a corner. It's easy to come out now and start telling us, oh, well, you know, don't, you know, you just want the game on your system. Why not? That's how the rest of you guys are. You know how much people would lose their mind if tomorrow Nintendo announced, because they've done partnerships with Microsoft, if Nintendo tomorrow announced that they're going to let Legend of Zelda, not even a new Legend of Zelda, Zelda A Link to the Past. You know how much people would lose their mind if that thing ended up on Game Pass tomorrow, if that was an announcement? How many of you guys would just crap yourselves? How much of the media would just come out and just hate on it? You know, Microsoft is trying to destroy the gaming industry. And it wouldn't even be Nintendo's fault. Maybe because Nintendo would have to give Microsoft the permission to do that. Maybe Nintendo wants to make a little bit more money. You know, maybe Nintendo wants to have an online Zelda game, and they want to use the Azure cloud. And they know that they can work with Microsoft because Microsoft's online community and online system is one of the biggest and the best. Right? Maybe they want a piece of that pie. You know what would happen tomorrow if Nintendo said that? If that hit Twitter, first thing in the morning, man, this Twitter would burn down. The gaming community would lose their collective minds. Jeff Keighley would be hosting another special event for Microsoft, and then he'd be downing Microsoft and complaining that Zelda's on there. Well, you know, Zelda's not really a Microsoft product, this and that, dude. So don't preach to me about how we're supposed to act or how we're being greedy when if any Sony or Nintendo game came over to the Xbox. I would not just Xbox, dude. If it came on Game Pass, you guys would lose your flipping minds. You guys would just go absolutely berserk. You guys would go berserk because not only are we getting the game that's supposed to be on your console of choice, right? We're gonna get the game for free because all we're doing is playing. All we're doing is they're gonna put on Game Pass and I can download it and play it. Now some of you guys are like, well, it's a subscription service. Now if you guys was Xbox all in, Xbox strong, you know, there's ways around that. I'm not gonna tell you. Right? Do your own homework. Tired of putting out all these things for you guys on my channel, and then you guys don't even say thank you. Right? But there's ways around that, dude. I just put it this way. I didn't pay for my Ultimate Game Pass. Right? Which allows me, but I am paying. So to pay it back towards Microsoft, because of all the stuff they do for us as Microsoft fans and consumers, at least on the gaming aspect and on the console aspect, right? To pay for it to them, what I do is I buy the games. If I download a game on Game Pass and I like the game and I don't even finish it, I'll buy it. So Game Pass is actually kind of costing me money because I'm actually buying the games because I'm a gamer. And if the game is good and I know it's something I can play, because a lot of the games I buy, I end up playing over and over again. Right? Just like the other day, just started playing Killing Floor 2. Again, I constantly play that game because if it has replay value to me because I'm a gamer. And that matters. So if the games that they're coming out with now, and then the games are on Game Pass, man, that's just not shovelware. Not like what happened on the Wii. You know, this is not something that they just want you to keep your subscription, man. These are like full-blown games. These are really great games. To the point where they keep it, and what blows me away is there is no downside to this because they keep, when it comes to Game Pass, they keep those games on Game Pass for a long time. The only problem I'm having with Game Pass is time because they keep on adding stuff to Game Pass. To the point where sometimes when I'm on Game Pass, I'm like, man, I hope this game sucks. Because if it's good, I mean, it's going to either cost me money or it's going to cost me time. But that's how good Game Pass. That's why a lot of you guys are pissed. Because Game Pass is that good. So that would be awesome if Last of Us 2... Imagine if Last of Us 2 got announced for Game Pass tomorrow. Some joint venture between Sony and Microsoft. Dude, man, the Sony fanboys will be just going berserk. I know, dude, you guys will be losing your collective minds. I wouldn't download it. Out of principle. I'm sorry, I am. That's how I am, dude. I'm Xbox all in. That's the name of my channel. That's what I am. Xbox all in. To the grave, I'll take this. That's how I am. That's how I roll. So anyway, this video is like 20 stupid minutes. It's supposed to be about MDHR, but you know, look, supported you guys, right? Bought your little Cuphead merchandise and stuff. That, you know, no hate. You know, I understand you guys want to make some money, get your product out there. Which developer doesn't? right? But on that flip side, for Microsoft and some of you studios, man, if you guys, you know, wonder, because I'll be honest with you, man, some of those indie games I buy because I'll look at them and I'll play them. You know, they're good, but maybe there's another game that's better. But because they took that dive and went with Microsoft, because Microsoft was the only one that was going to put them out there. The ID at Xbox game, dude, if it wasn't for that, dude, a lot of these developers would not exist. If it wasn't for that, ID at Xbox and Chris Charla and all the guys and what they've been doing there, dude, you wouldn't have all these games. And some of these studios would have went the way of the dodo, man. They would not exist. They would have been non-existent. You wouldn't even know about them. Dude, there's so many of these guys now that are stepping up their game. And I just saw the new trailer for Earthlock 2. You know, that game looks, at least from the trailer, looks 10 times, at least, well, I'll say 100 times better than the original. Nothing wrong with the original Earthlock, but, you know, this is what happens, right? These guys start off small and they start building up, right? And that's how the gaming industry grew. But it's also, but when you have all these stupid people that are just, you know, they hate on a system just for the sake of hating on it, you know, and not supporting the developers because they're on that system. You know, this is why this is why we don't have Jalico. This is why we don't have Treasure. This is why we don't have Midway. This is why we don't have Bali. This is why we don't have some of these guys. We still have Activision, but there's a lot of companies that claim that have come and gone, right? Because of this kind of stuff. Because even though the industry has grown exponentially as far as the business, it's supposed to be $1 billion business, you know, it's just like comic books, man. If the content isn't there, or if the creativity isn't there, dude, there's no sense in having it, dude. Everybody's just going to buy Call of Duty. Everybody's just going to buy Fortnite. This thing's going to go still and it's going to die. Because that's what's happening with every other thing that I do or used to do. Every other hobby that I had. It's just slowly disappearing. Because it's forgetting what its core, what was at its core. When Sega died, that's when I knew the gaming was in trouble. Because Sega had the best system. They had the cheapest price. They had the most variety of games. They had They had games that were fun. They had games that were sim. They had all these different games. And they were pushing the envelope in the industry. And people would not gravitate towards them. People waited for PlayStation so that they could play their Blu-ray and then play the Bouncer. That piece of trash game. No Sega Bass Fishing. No NFL 2K2. No Power Stone. Right? No Choo Choo Rocket. All this crap that everybody would love, but because it's on a Sega brand and it was on the Dreamcast and Dreamcast is a piece of $199.99. How much more? $99.99, $199.99. And nobody supported that system. Granted, Sega made some problems for themselves, man, but that system was worthy of being supported. And nobody bought it. That's what pisses me off. Nobody bought Shenmue. And for some reason, now everybody's a Shenmue fan. Nobody bought Shenmue. Nobody played that game. I played it. This is why I have a hard time playing Yakuza. Because what Yakuza is what Shenmue should have been. You know that Yu Suzuki was going to make 18 chapters of that game? 18 chapters, which is 18 fully realized, full-blown games. They did stuff in Shenmue that nobody else did. And Sega invested so much money. And because of vaporware, that game was destroyed. For those of you guys who are OG gamers, you know what I mean by that vaporware. You know who coined that phrase, and you know what that term is, and you know what I'm talking about in that moment in time. I'm not going to explain it to you guys because I'm tired of explaining crap to people. So, anyway. Sorry, I know I'm ranting at this point. But, anyway. So, you guys are going to get Cuphead. Be interesting to see if you guys play it. Of course, I think you guys are supposed to play it on your PCs, right? So, maybe you're not going to buy it for the PlayStation. But, I would like to see some videos to see how you guys are playing. I personally have not finished the game. Right? And because every time I try and play it or want to play it, man, my son comes to me and he's like, Dad, I want to play with you. But then he runs off and plays his PC. But, you know, I love my son. And he's, you know, I love him to death. So I'll wait for him no matter how long it takes. So, I don't know. Enjoy the game, I guess. But anyway, all in channel, Sega Forever. Enjoy the rant. That's all I got for you guys. Okay, we out.